Storm, anarchist of comic books and co-owner of Amazing Fantasies comic book shop here in Topeka, Kansas. Boy, those are really hard to see sometimes. It's Tuesday night. I'm getting the new comic books out for tomorrow and thought I would tell you about them. And real quick before we dive into that, click that like button and share this around with somebody. I thought this was great. 100 Bullets back with a new storyline. The U.S. of Anger, very current, very modern. And you'll notice that I would just point out to you that there are no anarchists arguing and fighting in this conversation in here, but there certainly are a bunch of statists who want things to run their way, and that's kind of the way our society is right now and why it's as broken as it is. Batman, number 11, just this great bridge of modern and classic storytelling that these guys have been able to pull off. Absolute Green Arrow gets another one. Absolute Martian Manhunter gets another one. Supergirl survived. The Elseworld story continues there. New Deadman, you got a brand new shiny. Isn't that cool? Not the Marvel Thor, but a Thor. And Batman bumping up against each other there. Brand new Adventures of Superman, Book of L, a new storyline starting there. I don't know if anyone expected that one to go as far as it's gone or continue to go. Just so much to go through this week. That's why I'm kind of rolling over, because there's a ton of independence to go through. There's almost nothing in Marvel. I kind of had to go out of my way to put some of the Marvel stuff out there, but we do have some Spider-Man. We get a couple of Amazings every month here, and there's a couple of great covers, actually, that I thought were worth noting. Just this right here, this Voices cover by Gleason is just awesome. I mean, there's so much going on there, and the page is so filled with art. And then there's this, and this is just a Spider-Gwen costume swap. They have a number of these costume swap things going on over the next couple of months, I think, and it's a Luciano Vecchio, which that's one of my favorite artists right now. And then there's a number of these. So this is Amazing Spider-Man number 32 as well, and it's an Alex Ross cover, obviously, Ant-Man and Wasp there. Except that not quite, right? There's a little something different going on there. But at any rate, it's the Alex Ross cover. There's not one of those for Challenges of Doom, Mr. Fantastic. Number 1, there's a series of these stories that they'll be doing, and it's just, sort of concentrating, I guess, on individual challenges of Doom. Of course, he blames Reed Richards for what happens to him as far as his looks and things go. But it's more complicated than that. The story is in there. Speaking of Alex Ross, I just left these out here. That's right, I had to bring these down out of the stack because these are just sort of, Fantastic Four, Iron Man. This is stuff that it doesn't necessarily sell off the shelf. The stuff that I get, it goes into pulls. And so we don't necessarily get to see fantastic covers like these out here. So I left them out there to stand on their own. This is third print? Yeah, third print of Spider-Man, Superman, the big Marvel DC crossover. One of multiple that have happened here recently, but the only one that so far has had the Venomized Superman on the cover. Kind of strange. Swimsuit issue, this is last year's. We had just a handful of some covers left over that we were able to dig out from last year, and so we thought we'd put them out there because the new ones are here. This is definitely the big highlight for Marvel this week. And just like last year, there's a great little story in here. It's a bit of fun as opposed to anything particularly serious. But of course, there's some great covers to look at as well. Some for the boys and the girls. And the boys who like boys and the girls who like girls. Sure, why not? And down here, Avengers JLA number 2, that's that Perez story, Busiek Perez story that it's a reprint, it's a facsimile edition, but it's a very cool one. We had the originals of it up here for a while, and not so long ago. Saw Gerrera, the Rogue One saga continues, and I still have maybe 1 or 2 copies of Jin as well as Cassian. They've pretty well sold through. Now, I left this one down here because I thought we'd have a little bit of fun. This is What If Secret Wars. What if the Ultimate Universe survived the Secret Wars? And I just want to point out that that's very funny because that's last week. That's last week. That's last week. The Ultimate Universe isn't dead. This is insane. Every single one of these is new this week. Every single one of them. Some of them are even new titles. Most of them are new titles. New this week. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, just right there on top. All brand new, all number ones. And I'll come back to him in a minute. But there's a new Godzilla Ordained issue 2. We have some ones as well as the Machine, the Ordained special there. This was great with the movie coming out. This just popped up and was orderable, and I thought it's a perfect time. If there's somebody that's interested and they want the Cliff Notes of the Odyssey, and trust me, the Cliff Notes are a hell of a lot easier to read than the Odyssey is. That language is so it's just it's more work than it needs to be. Thankfully, people have come along and reinterpreted it and put it into a fun and classic viewing with some images to go with it. So you don't have to struggle. But I just thought this would be great with the story coming out. They do all these wonderful graphic novels. In 1984, graphic novel was available and then is again sold out here for this week. If you want one, you'll have to ask me for one because I intend to do other things with them. And Homer's Odyssey, right here, the epic tale from Homer, not to be confused with Homer's Colossal Compendium. Part 2 is out this week, and I still have one number 1 left as well, so you can get yourself a nice little set of those. So back up here real quick, just want to hit on a couple of these things. The laughs, the hilarity, the jokes, the memes, I'm not even going there. This is another one of this true-ish stories from Tiny's universe that he created here a year or so ago, and have done some wonderful, done some Jersey Devil type stories, things like that, Myth. This was a book that I'm not sure if it was supposed to come out last week because they did come out last week, or this is just another one of these special books. They didn't get it out in time. Either way, I have one issue of Blood of the Wolfman left, and that's it. Catching Hell, this was really fun. This is your sort of everyman demon hunter guy right there, Reggie, and he has some fun little adventure. It's just a beginning of an adventure really here, but there's more story behind it than that because it's obvious that the adventure didn't just start right there. Dog Sitter, finally, we've had that ash can out here for free for a while. I don't want to say it's a girly book, but I'm suggesting that the girls will probably like that more so than most of the guys. 8 Ball, this is a facsimile from 1989. And that it's really the end of the great comics era, COMIX, that era. And so it's fitting of that. It's black and white. It's multiple stories. It's good stuff. Faceless and the Family, Maze of the Mechanical Aliens. What I really love about this is the art. This is something that Oni's got me on a couple of times here recently, is just the artist that they found. This is all in black and white, and the shading work in it is just amazing. This is Mike Diodano. This is Jade Warriors. This is a rebirth of the sort of late 80s, yeah, and worth it. Killer Influences. This is a trope right now. There's sort of influencers and online podcast people and things getting mixed up in some murder stuff. Here's a big one, Power Rangers Unlimited. So the big deal is that all of the bad guys, there have been hundreds of Rangers over the years and over time. It's not just the ones that we know. And so all of the evil and bad guys that they've battled over the years are all coming together, and they're getting ready to do their thing and go after the Rangers. And so they're literally calling all of the Rangers out as well. They're calling them from time and space as well. And so there's various stories going on. This one is about Trini Kwan. She's been, sort of ripped out of her space and time and dropped in to what is shaping up to be this great big battle. Return of the Living Dead, if you don't know who the Tar Man is, Well, he's the original. He's the first guy. He's the one that's in the barrel. The barrel gets opened. That's him. 7 Years in Darkness. This is another storyline for the 7 Years in Darkness. It goes 72 keys. I haven't looked at it, so I can tell you about it. Shaolin Cowboy gets another storyline. This is not a facsimile, but I guess they're trying to rebirth this. The Team America Racing. This something traces back to the 70s and Evel Knievel and motorcycle racing and fun stuff. And they did this CSN. This is the Comic Shop News Press. They did a Kickstarter. And this is what they came up with, and we ended up getting some of these really cool covers. And we'll just have to see where this one goes. We'll see if they take it any further than that. Some of these other guys have tried to do that with some of these other titles like this. The Nacelle verse comes to mind. Last Starfighter #1. It's a new storyline. It is not the same storyline as the original Last Starfighter, and I only know that just from a glance of looking in it and knowing that there's more going on, that you, even if it is in the same timeline, in the same pilot, we're getting different story. It's not the exact same storyline. There's other stuff going on in there. And I think New Vampirilla get a summer special for 2026. We still have plenty of gun honeys. There's a second print of Godzilla vs. Portland. A couple of $1 trillion kids left. Technically, still one more day to get a chance to win Haunt. All you have to do is have a poll, and you could win that. Otherwise, we'll be giving away something else next week. These guys here are available in sets, or you can get individual ones. Just ask for them. And Ben or I or whoever happens to, let's face it, it'll be Ben or I, and we'll get you one. Brand new Comics Magazine #5. Get you one of these. Find out what's going in the comic industry. It's so much more conducive to being a comic book reader than just sort of looking for things on the internet. Epic Collection gets a new edition with all these wonderful stories through the Mutant Massacre era with Chris Claremont. I have a couple of these floating around. Last of the Silver Age Supergirls, last of the X-Men Elsewhen, and, well, you know the deal. If it's not on your poll, it may not be here when you get here tomorrow, so they may all be the last one, too. Do me a favor, click that like button, share this around if you found it interesting, share it with just one person. That'll really help us out. And just come and visit us in the store sometime if you haven't already done so, and if you have, well, come back.